And welcome into this week's edition of the Jacket Corner. I'm Mickey Shadrix. The Oxford Yellow Jackets coming off a hard-fought 48-28 loss last Friday night on the road against Gadsden City, a game that up until this year has been a region matchup. This year, just a game played for pride. Joined now by the head coach of the Yellow Jackets, Coach Herring. And Coach, this was a game that kind of turned into a fourth quarter game. It was a slugfest there through three quarters. They kind of got you there in the fourth quarter with three late scores. The score really not indicative of how close this game was.
Well, it was a tough ball game, a physical ball game. They had some big plays that we've got to eliminate. But I was proud of our kids. I was real proud of our offense. We were playing without some linemen. We kind of felt like we went in left-handed to the game a little bit, but ended up, putting 28 points on the board. Last year, we scored 6. And they had we thought they had a better defense this year than they had last year. So I was proud of the offense. And defensively, at times we played well, but we had too many mental errors. We had people that didn't get lined up well. And you're not going to beat a good team when you can't do basic things.
And obviously a key point of the game was when you lost Trey Gamble there in the second half with a rib injury. You had put him, he had started the game at receiver and had a typical impact on the game from that position. Then you put him at running back and he really impacted the game, but his leaving the game really impacted it as well.
Yeah, and that's a sign of a great player. When he's in there, he makes a big difference. When he's not in there, you're missing something. And when he left the game, the wind kind of came out of our sails. And we talked about that yesterday, that, when somebody goes out, other people got to step up. And defensively, the game's 28-27 our way in the fourth quarter. And defensively, nobody steps up. And that's something we got to improve on. We got to do a better job coaching, and we got to do a better job playing, because we don't need to lose games in the fourth quarter.
Update his condition for us after Friday night.
Well, he's got a fractured rib, and it's just going to be real sore. But he's one of the toughest kids I've ever coached. So I know that when he can play, he'll be playing.
It's just one of those injuries that if the player can stand the pain, they can go.
Oh, yeah. Some people, like we talked about with the kid at South Carolina, he's got bruised ribs and he's doubtful. Well, Gamble's got a broke rib. But I know him, whenever he can play, he'll play.
There had to be a lot of things, not talking moral victories here, but there had to be a lot you could take out of this game, because we knew last week, we talked about this game last week, how they had gone down to Auburn and beat Auburn in double overtime in the first week, playing them at their place in their home opener with the type of athletes and skill players they had. To be right there with an opportunity to win that game, had to take some positives out of this game.
Well, I equated it to last year's Clay Chalkville game. Last year, Clay Chalkville, we had a lead in the fourth quarter, and Clay Chalkville's got a great team, and we let it go. We didn't finish the deal in the fourth quarter. Same thing Friday night. We had a lead in the fourth quarter at Gadsden City, and we lost it and let it go. To be a good team, you got to win those games in the fourth quarter, and I think our kids know that, and they know what we didn't do well Friday night, and we got to do it, and we got to start doing it this Friday night.
Well, we'll have much more on the Gadsden City game, as well as the game coming up this week with Valley, which is Oxford's home opener. We'll take a break and come back with first half highlights from Titan Stadium last Friday night. Stay with us.
Here they come. Here come the. There's the giving go. There's Tredarian Gamble. Does he have it? Yes, sir. Touchdown. As we're getting ready for the Yellow Jackets.
And time to check out first half highlights. We head over to Titan Stadium, which is a great facility at Gadsden City, and Coach, here we get a look at them on offense first. Quarterback's really a nifty kid, left-hander, and we get a look at his arm right away.
Well, right there, we had the play stopped, and all of a sudden our safety just lost his deep leverage, and that was just a mental error. Right here, we don't get lined up on the edge with the safety over the outside linebacker, and they kind of walk in the end zone, so you gift wrap that one for them. We get the ball on offense. Do a good job of dinking them right here. The Gamble, Ty does a good job of getting it out. Get a few yards doing that, and that's just when they give it to you, you need to take it, and we did. Then we hit him on the stop and go, and of course he catches a great catch, great throw, touchdown.
Big answer there, Coach.
Oh, that was huge, especially being on the road.
Swings it out.
They come right out, boom.
Good
They
job.
throw a
Good
little quick
reaction,
game right there.
Ronnie
Ronnie Isaac does a great job right
Motions it
there.
over. Back to pass. Looking.
They get the ball.
In trouble. He's gonna go
Now that's a
down.
coverage sack right there. That's just a great job by the secondary linebackers right there, and we get a coverage sack.
Handoff left
Right
side.
here, they
Got
take
some
the
money.
ball, and we, our nose guard,
Breaks it outside.
slants the wrong way, and then we don't do a good job tackling. We overrun the ball carrier, which we did several times during the night, and we started yesterday working on that, and we're going to get that fixed. Back on offense, and we throw it to big man right here, and just, you know, just hard to stop him.
Let him do his thing.
If you put the ball in there, usually he comes down with it. Then we put him running back, and he just glides into the end zone. Good job blocking right there, coming off the ball by those offensive linemen. Here we are back on defense. You know, I feel like we should have had a no gain right here, and they ended up getting about 10 yards out of it. We just didn't make plays that we should have made. Right here, we ought to have a tackle in the backfield, and we kind of round it off the edge, and boom, it goes to the house. So, you know, just some mental errors, the mental aspects right here, right there on defense. You know, we're lacking. We do a great job blocking the extra point. Ronnie Isaac hustling all night trying to go after him. Right here, the receiver just runs right by us. I mean, we've got very capable safeties. We just got to get better.
Got plenty of time. Put one in there.
Put you down by 2, second quarter.
Down 2 scores, and, you know, we challenged them at halftime, and we came out
Good job.
and did a good job. Right there, we stopped them in the backfield, same play they ran earlier. But anyway, it was a good job getting a 3 and out at a much-needed time.
Gamble all the way back.
They get a
inside
good
the
punt
10.
off right there. I feel like we're going to have a great return right here, and boom, we clip a guy. Everything's looking good. Kids are blocking,
To the 50,
and we just had a mental error right there.
And
You
looks
know,
like
and, you know, we got to do better. We got to know
because there's
better.
that
We can't beat ourselves.
looking. Pressure from the
Well,
backside.
they do a good
Ball
job right
loose,
here.
need to get on it.
Get the ball away from Ty. We just got to take a sack or get rid of it right there, which Ty knows that, and we'll improve on that. Good pressure by Ronnie Isaac off the edge again. I think he's got just enough pressure to cause him to miss that. So we got off the field without a score, so, you know, I was happy right there.
Down 27-14 at halftime, and Coach, it's not a good position to be in on the road against a team like this. What was your message at halftime to the team?
Well, we fought good right there before half, so I was happy we're getting those stops. But at halftime, basically, we just went in there and told them, hey, you know, you're at Gadsden City. You can't worry about officials or worry about this call, that call. You just got to go play football. We got to play better defense. Offensively, I was happy where we were at offensively, but defensively, we got to get lined up. We got to do what we're supposed to do. You know, when you beat yourself, that irritates you more than when somebody's just better than you and just lines up and beats you. And a couple times there, we beat ourselves. It was because of us. They've got 27 points, not because of them. And that's something we got to improve on.
The decision to put Gamble at tailback, which happens in the start of the second half, I'm sure that was part of your game plan going in, but did you know when you would do it? Did the situation and the circumstances of the game dictate that decision?
Well, I thought that, you know, when they got up to 27 points, we need to do something. We need to do something to milk the clock, and we need to do something to move the ball. And we felt like putting him back there gave us a good chance to do both of them because, you know, he's good at getting yards. He just knows how to run the football. He knows how to get behind blockers, you know. So, we thought that eat the clock up, slowed the game down a little bit, and it did, and it worked out well.
Big third quarter for the Yellow Jackets. We'll take a look at second half highlights in just a moment, but as we go to break, we'll listen in to the Oxford High School Marching Band and hear one of their songs on Friday night. Here's a look at the sounds of champions. And back on the Jacket Corner, time to remind you about the Oxford Quarterback Club. Their season of new speakers begins next Monday, September the 8th, with former Alabama and former Atlanta Falcons quarterback John Parker Wilson. There you see the rest of the speakers line up there. And Coach, we talked a little bit about the Quarterback Club last week and what the club means to the Oxford football program and Oxford athletics overall. Talk about maybe if someone's out there watching and thought about joining the Quarterback Club, why would be a reason they might want to jump and go ahead and be a part of the Quarterback Club?
Well, you know, if I lived anywhere near Oxford, I'd want to do it because you got a good speaker lineup. You get a good meal at Western Sizzling. It's a laid-back environment. I just think it's a good social time to relax. And if you love football, you know, what better place to be on a Monday night?
And, you know, you've got the high school games to talk about. Everybody talks about the college games, you know, that happened over the weekend. So, yeah, it's a great social time as well. Let's head out to Titan Stadium again for second half highlights. And Oxford at down 27-14 as we begin the third quarter. And, Coach, you had a great third quarter. You had the answer and the response that you needed to get back in this game.
Well, you know, and we started off with a good return right here. And special teams are always huge, and they can be a catalyst for you during the game to get things going. But we get a good return. Then we put Gamble in the backfield. And the line's doing a great job, and Gamble's making people miss. You know, it's hard. It's just hard for people to tackle him. First guy usually never gets him. He's just a natural runner. He's just natural. When the ball's in his hand, he just gets in the end zone. He's real strong in his thighs and his hips. So, you know, you're not going to bump into him and knock him down. Good job at extra point there. So it's 27-21. We come out. And you know, we talked about at halftime, we just got to play defense, guys. If we'll just play defense, we'll win this game. So we come out and do a good job, get pressure right here, another coverage sack. And so we feel like we're getting momentum. They got a funny snap. Here we go, good pressure by Jacob Shake. And then Tanner Lloyd gets a hold of him. And Cole Hurd, hey, we got momentum. Momentum's back on our side. Back on offense. Our ninth grade quarterback goes in for a second because Ty's helmet came off. Throws completion up to Cookie. And that's big for a ninth grader to do. And there's Tommy Rudolph right here. I thought that was the best run he's had this season. You know, sometimes it's kind of there and we hadn't seen it, but he saw it right there and did a great job of getting in the end zone. So you got the lead 28-27. So everything's looking good. Here we are. Playing good defense right there. Feeling good right now, come in with good pressure. Boy, Kenny Britt gets a good lick on him right there. Here we are in the fourth quarter. Everything's looking good. And next thing you know, guy turns it back across field, goes all the way. Cornerback should be outside in, take it back to safety. He goes inside the play. You know, just in a matter of one play, momentum left. I mean, I felt like we were fixing to take the game and run with it. And, you know, all it takes is one mistake on defense. Here we are back on offense. There's Tommy Rudolph doing a good job, good run right there. And we had to get rid of the ball. Here they go. They get a little wing T, unbalanced set, and inside linebacker just overruns the play, and he doesn't fit in the hole. And next you know, it's another touchdown they broke. So they just broke two long touchdown runs, just basically off bad fits. And that's something we've got to do a better job coaching. And once we do that, I think you're going to see we're going to be a lot better on defense. Quarterback just kind of a busted play and takes off and gets 15 yards. Good job by Ronnie Isaac making the tackle. Here we are. We kind of missed the screen right there with the outside backer. Kenny Britt gets to him, knocks him out of bounds. Good hustle. Right here, we just missed the tackle, the inside backer right there. We didn't get lined up good before the play anyway, but we just missed the tackle, unblocked, and we got to make those tackles. Right here, they just shove it down the throat. You know, they've got a bunch of 300-pound guys, and they do a good job of getting movement, but we don't fit it with the inside linebacker right. And, of course, it's a touchdown. And that's ball game.
And the final score, Gadsden City wins at 48-28, a three-touchdown fourth quarter that really broke the game open. And typical Gadsden City that you see a lot, Coach, is just a lot of big plays. Most of what they did, they hit you with, was plays over that 25, 30-yard area, and that's how they win, and that's seemed to be the big part of their game Friday night.
Well, you know, if you make a mistake on offense, it may cost you 6 yards. But when you make a big mistake on defense, it's 6 points. And basically that's what you got. We got people making mental mistakes in which, you know, that's got to be corrected. But, you know, we've got to coach it up harder and they've got to be coachable. And we had a great day of practice yesterday, and I think all the kids on defense know that we made mistakes and we got to get it right if we're going to win some games.
All right, something new to this program this week is we're going to start sharing with you the player awards that the Yellow Jackets hand out each week. Coaches, this has been a tradition in football and especially at Oxford over the years. All the coaching staff at Oxford, you have your own awards each week for various players, and some of them are unique names and have a specific meaning to them. So we're going to share those with you each week and bring some recognition to several players for their performance week in and week out. So let's go ahead and go to the individual player awards for the Gadsden City game. Coach, we'll start with the meanest jacket, Jacob Shake. What does that award signify?
Meanest jacket, somebody who got after it all night. They played hard, they graded well, and they ran into people and hit. You know, and that could be an offensive or defensive player any week. But we thought Shake did that the best Friday night. Racehorse is the person who has the most rushing yards in the game, and Gamble got that. Air Jacket is the person who has the most receiving yards in the game. Gamble got that. You know, last week it was Cookie, and this week Gamble got it. Special teams, Ronnie Isaac and Justin Smith. Those are people on special teams who hustled, who went down and made tackles or blocked well. Sometimes, you know, it might be the kicker if he kicks is 100%, you know, or hits a field goal. But that can be anybody that's on special teams. Most hits, the guy who is in on tackles the most. Doesn't have just to be solos. It could be solos and assists, whoever's got the highest number. That was KJ Adams. Highest grade offensive line. Who graded out the best? Who did their job more than any other lineman on offensive line? This week it was Matt Surrett, and we call him Red. He's done a great job the last 2 weeks in a row. Highest grade defensive line, Jermaine Taylor. Played a heartsy, gutsy game. He was going against 300-pounders, and he's about 190. You know, I couldn't be prouder of him and what he did. But, you know, that's a physical position, and that's in the trenches. Hammer Award, Kenny Britt, goes to who had the hardest licks in the game. Sometimes it may just be one. I think Kenny had 2 big-time hits during the game. And, you know, he had some last week, too. Pride Award goes to the who practiced the hardest during the week. And we usually give that to guys on the service teams, on the scout teams. This week it was Ryan Boswell and Darrell Bowen. Last week I think it was Tommy Madden. But that's the awards we give out each week. And each week it can be a different kid that gets them.
And that's great. We really look forward to sharing that with you each and every week, because I know when the team comes in and watches film, typically on Sunday, and I'm sure this is probably when you give these awards out, even on a week where you've had a loss, these kids work hard and they really give it their all. And sometimes things just don't fall your way, but you still are giving them a little bit of a payday.
That's right, and kids love it. We do it every Sunday, like you said, and you know, kids look forward to see who's going to get those awards. We also have one award that we don't put on the board. It's kind of a secret award. It's a closed-door award. We call it the Golden Nail Award. Whoever gets hit the hardest on our team by the other team, they get the Golden Nail Award. We put it around their neck, and they wear it, and it sits in their locker all week, and then the next Sunday they get to give it to the next guy who gets it. So we have a lot of fun with that, and the kids enjoy it.
That's part of the game. You dish out some hits, and you got to be able to take
That's
them too, right? Well, we'll take a break and come back with our player spotlight this week, a young man who had an outstanding game in Oxford's win over Southside a couple of weeks ago. Plus, we'll look ahead to this big region matchup in the home opener against Valley on Friday night. Stay with us.
And the Gadsden City Titan marching band. Yellow Jackets taking it, got a crease. Cuts it back all the way. 6, handoff again, right side. And he's in. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
And we're back in the Jacket Corner. Time now for our weekly feature called Player Spotlight, where we take a look at one of the players on the Oxford football team that is making contributions to the overall team. And senior wide receiver Jacob Cook had a huge game in Oxford's season opening win against Southside, and he is the focus this week on our Player Spotlight.
It's a special connection for a wide receiver and quarterback to turn those pass plays into touchdowns, and senior wide receiver Jacob Cook has that with quarterback Ty Webb.
I've been working with Ty for a long time now, and just after so many repetitions, you just get used to running routes with him and hitting the spot every time.
Jake's the heart and soul of our team. He's real intelligent. You know, you tell him something, he learns the first time. He helps get everybody else lined up out there. He runs probably the best routes we have on the team, and he's just a vital asset to what we do.
Cook had 8 catches for 218 yards and 2 touchdowns in their season opener against Southside.
They tried to bracket or double team Tredarian Gamble on one side, and you can't do that with Cookie on the other side. He, like I said, he's a great route runner. Runs well after the catch. He has pretty good speed, and he just he means a lot to us.
For the Jacket Corner, I'm Chase Robinson.
Well, Coach, that's this week's feature. Chase Robinson, a good job there talking about Jacob Cook and what he means to your team. I bet you'd take 11 of those, wouldn't you?
I tell you what, of course we call him Cookie. Cookie's something special. You know, he's a good kid. He's going to be there every day. He's going to work hard. He's going to do everything you ask him to do. He's going to play hard. You know, he's well-rounded, and you know he's also a great baseball player. He's what high school sports are all about. You know, he's kind of a coach's dream. He's a kid that you wish you had every year, and you don't get those guys every year, and nobody does. So when you have them, you just try to take advantage of it and enjoy it.
All right, let's time now to look ahead to what's going on this week for the Yellow Jackets. First off, we want to start with the region standings, the new 6A Region 3. Here we get a look at the 7-team region. Obviously, Coach, no one's played a region game yet. That starts this week. But there you see Benjamin Russell, Pell City, and Valley, who is your opponent this Friday night, are all 2-0, and Valley with a win over a 2A and a 5A. They've beaten Lynette and Greenville. And obviously, I know that's the one team in the region that you're worried about because that's the opponent for this week. And we'll go ahead and take a look at that matchup. As we mentioned, Valley 2-0. It is your home opener, 7 o'clock kickoff Friday night at Lamar Field. Talk about what the Valley Rams, what kind of challenge they'll be for you.
Well, Valley's got a lot of good-looking kids. They've got some size, and they got some speed. They like to play 2 different kids at quarterback, and just really just try to make plays, rolling out, passing game, scrambling, speed option, and some just quarterback sweeps. That's their main stuff. But I think it's going to be a tough game. But I fully believe that we're going to be ready to play. Then we're going to play better defense this week.
And home opener, that's a big deal to come back home, right?
You know, having 2 games on the road, especially having to go to Gaston 2 weeks in a row, we're hoping we'll get a little break from the laundry, the yellow laundry this week. But, you know, it's going to be good to be at home, and I'm ready to see if our crowd shows up or not.
We saw the region standings graphic there earlier, and again, it is a new-look region that you're competing in this year in 6A. So I know all region games are important, but talk about how important it is to get off to a good start when you start in region play.
Well, it's like I was telling the kids, you know, every game counts, and the most important game is this game because it's one we're playing. But you know, you got to keep in mind that these games are important because when you get that first round of playoffs, if you're not a 1 or 2 in your region, now that we're south, you're on the road to Mobile. You know, you got a 5-hour trip you're looking at in the first round. So, you know, unless you want to get on the Greyhounds and go to Mobile first round, you better take care of business every Friday night. You know, and this is the first region game, and this is the only one we're worried about, Valley. So, and I think the kids understand that. So, you know, I think they'll be ready to play.
And it's amazing how fast it goes. I mean, here we are already talking about your 3rd game. Seemed like we were just in the summer. And I was talking to someone about this the other day about the analogy of I look at football season with the work we do here at the TV station is almost like an avalanche. You work so hard rolling that stone up the hill. A lot of sweat, a lot of time goes into that. But once that stone tips the top of that mountain, it's hang on for dear life.
Oh, yeah.
And before you know it, boom, it's at the bottom of the hill and it's over. I mean, it goes fast, doesn't it? How do you and your staff hang on to that thing as it gets rolling?
Well, you know, you don't get to stop and smell the roses a lot. And, you know, I've been fortunate enough to be on some staffs where we had some good teams. And the one thing I regret now is not stopping and smelling the roses and stopping the kids and enjoying a win. But it's because you got another one coming. It's you know, it's just all happens quick. But, you know, you just got to try to take it one game at a time. You got to put losses or bad games behind you, and everything's about forward. But we talked about beginning with the end in mind. When we started the season, you know, we don't think about games 3 weeks ahead. We don't think about the playoffs. But you begin with all that in mind. Begin with the end in mind. Keep that in mind. Why are we working hard? Why are these coaches getting on you every day? Why are we pushing you so hard? Be coachable, begin with the end in mind, and everything will take care of itself.
Well, you played 2 quality opponents to open the season, 1-1, beating Southside, and a tough loss to Gaston City. So I think you got to feel confident heading into the region play.
Yeah, you know, that's two good games to prime you up. You know, Southside's tough. I was telling somebody the other day, I wouldn't doubt if Southside ends up 9-1 and Gadsden ends up 10-0. You know, we'll know this in 10 or 11 weeks, but I just got a feeling both those teams are going to have good years. So I think it was good games to get us going and get us ready for region play.
Well, you've also had great crowds on the road the first 2 weeks. I'm sure you'll have a biggie Friday night at Lamar Field, and we'll be back here with you again next week to break down the matchup between Oxford and Valley. For Coach Harry, Mickey Shadrick saying so long. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week.
Yellow Jackets, and here they come.
Here they come. Here come the.
There's the give and go.
He is there. Tredarian Gamble. Does he have it?
Yes, sir.
Touchdown, Yellow Jackets. 6. Hand off again, right side. And he's in. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
Come out and be fresh. They're going to throw it again right off the bat.
Here he is looking flush out in the nose pocket. And he's going to take it. Tall sweep, right side, looking for running room.
Get in there, Tom.
Keep running.
Atta baby.